Today's episode is about working smarter and not harder to gain back time for what really matters to you. So this is about finding ways to use your energy when you're most productive. Hello, you're listening to the Courageous Goals podcast. This podcast is for high-achieving, courageous women who want growth and the know-how to scale their business online. Running a business is a journey and a process. The more we learn in action, the more we succeed. If you're a woman in business, this is the podcast for you. Be in the 5% of businesses that make it. Let's get bold and create the life we desire. I'm bringing my passion to you through advice, coaching, inspiration, and support to help you create and design the life and business you want to live. I am a Dubsado expert, CPD certified in social media platforms, and a lover of admin systems and processes. I am an accredited ICF coach, specialising in trauma and narcissism. My own coaching journey has supported my growth immensely, and I want to share those highlights with you to inspire and give you courage. Let's get intentional with our goals and make them happen. Let's get started. Hello and welcome to today's episode of the Courageous Goals podcast. So a lot of you know how I love organisation. I love a project management tool, and I just generally love being organised and working smarter rather than harder to be able to use my time more efficiently. So I'd like to talk to you today about how you can do that and how you can help yourselves in your day-to-day life, whether that's, personal or business. You can implement steps into your day to really make your day work for you and not feel overworked or rushed or, trying to do things quicker so that you can get other things done. So the bottom line is to work smarter, not harder. But how can you do this? So there's plenty of different ways that you can use this in your day-to-day life. It might sound silly, some of the things that I might say. At the same time, it really isn't. So a few things that I use that I'd like to share with you is using a timer whilst you do certain tasks. Now, I do this a lot whilst I'm working. I actually have 3 different egg timers. I've gone a traditional route, so I've got a 60-minute timer, 30-minute and 15 minutes. And I tend to use them when I'm working on specific tasks so that I can really focus and use my time wisely, because sometimes, as some of you know, I can be a bit of a perfectionist. So if I'm creating something, instead of taking an hour, which the task should take, I could probably sit there for 2 or 3 hours because something may not look right, or it doesn't present well, or a sentence could be better. I can really sit there and drag things out. So egg timers really help me, especially because they're quite visual and they are sat on my desk. And I know it sounds silly, but that is the best way for me to really stay on track with my time for little tasks throughout the day. In addition, I find organising my workspace. This is another really good thing to do to kind of get you ready, which is what I do every week. Monday morning, I start by organising my desk space, my office area, and I really feel ready for the week ahead. And I do this on a weekly basis so that I am ready and prepared. I also minimize any notifications. So I don't know if you're a Mac user, but there's a focus button on your phone, on your desktop, on your laptop, and basically it turns off all notifications so that you're not distracted in any way. And this is massively helpful, which also coincides with my apps on my phone all notifications are off apart from for text messages and phone calls. Obviously, in case there's an emergency with something somewhere, I have those left on, but they are on their lowest volume level, so that those distractions are completely gone. There are loads of other tips that I could give you. So you can divide your life and your business into smaller parts. You can group similar tasks to do them all at the same time. It really helps procrastination. Definitely focusing on one task at a time is hugely beneficial. I don't know if you're like me, but I can easily get distracted. I am a multitasker, but I find that I end up thinking about something whilst doing something else, which isn't the best time. It isn't the best use of my time. So I end up actually focusing on one thing at a time, writing down what I need to do next so that I can then focus on that after. Taking regular breaks, I will put my hands up. I am not very good at taking regular breaks, and my coaches will actually tell you this. If you ever have a conversation or a session even with one of my coaches, they will tell you I am not very good at taking breaks. I do definitely need to get better at doing this, but I'm one of those where I've got a list of things that I'd like to do each day and I tend to work through them. However, I am getting much better at taking breaks, and I've added those into my calendar so that I do have that reminder that's there, because I use my calendar every day, all day. And I am getting much better. I could be better, definitely. I could be better at everything. But that's something that I do need to start prioritizing. Actually, I have. The last week or two, I have really started to prioritize that. So I'm getting there. Another tip is definitely focusing on your biggest tasks first. I don't know about you, but I'm more productive in the morning. So focusing on the biggest tasks first really help, because I have more energy, I'm more motivated, and just getting those big things done first. Then as the day goes on, you can do the smaller tasks that don't require as much effort. What other recommendations have I got? So making your meetings more productive, obviously allocating the time properly, making notes where you're going to use those notes more efficiently going forward, using a project management tool alongside that really helps. Delegating any tasks. I don't know if you have someone that you can rely on for support day to day, but delegating and not doing everything yourself is a huge time saver, of course. So delegating, think about where you can do that. But the biggest thing that you're probably expecting me to say, and I'm going to say it, is time blocking your calendar. Oh my gosh, it is a lifesaver. I have time blocks in my calendar where I know that I work on specific things each day and each week. I have grouped them in a way that really works for me in my schedule. And then weekly, I really dive into those time blocks, and I do this either on a Sunday evening or on a Monday, because I've already held my hands up. I get distracted. I don't take breaks. Things take me longer. I'm a perfectionist. I can procrastinate where, I feel I need to. There's so many things that can get in the way of us being efficient and organised and using our energy when it's there. Like we really, really need to get focused on our tasks where we can. Now, I'm not saying any of this to make you get so organised that you're obsessed with it, or get so, really down into the details of time blocking. I don't want you to be, working all the hours and obsessed with your calendar. I'm doing this to help you be productive and use your time more wisely. So time blocking really is an amazing way to plan your calendar, plan your tasks. It gives you focus, it gives you structure, and it also gives you boundaries in life and business. And it does give you back time. It really does. You know, procrastination is a killer. It really is. So if you can gain back some time in whatever area that is, it will be beneficial. Trust me, it really will. So I don't want you to get obsessed, but allowing yourself to be strict with your calendar, whether that's daily, weekly, or monthly, it can really help you with your time and give you focus in certain areas. Now, I'm talking about this because some of you might know I have a free resource on time blocking, which the link is in the show notes. So if you'd like to download it, then please do go ahead. It really is useful, I promise you. You'll probably need 5-10 minutes to read the resource. And then I suggest you allow yourself 1 hour soon, whenever that is. Just allow yourself 1 hour. And if you like, you can head over to your calendar and put that 1 hour in your diary now and allow yourself to sit down, look at your calendar and get an idea, get a feel for how you can time block your calendar. There's lots of different ways to do it. And there's 3 top areas for you to really consider when time blocking. So think about what you do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. Think about when you're most productive. So like we talked about with your energy, are you more productive in the morning or in the evening? And what tasks you do that you can group that potentially you can adapt to fit with your schedule every week. So you might be able to group something like admin, which I do on a Monday, but I don't do the same admin every single Monday. It changes. So actually today I am recording podcast episodes and I'm working on my free Facebook group. So that's something that I will be doing today, whereas next Monday is something completely different, but it's admin stuff. It's working on my business. So I would really love it if you would implement right now. Just go and add 1 hour into your calendar where you can focus on time blocking and just sit with your calendar, sit with your tasks. If you don't know what those tasks are that you do regularly, use that hour to make your notes. Just have a starting point, because time blocking, honestly, truly, is so important, and it will give you 3 really important things. Firstly, it's a habit change. It is really tricky to change our habits. I know, trust me, there's lots of things that I'm trying to change at the moment. But it is really important to be curious about how you can develop yourself in that way. Secondly, don't overthink and plan in too much detail if you're going to use time blocking. Allow yourself for, maneuver, which brings me on to point 3. Be open to changes and adaptations if needed, because life throws curveballs. Our business does also, so things might come up. So don't be so strict with your calendar. Allow yourself to be able to take, time where you need it for other things, but remember to add those things in again later. In the free resource, there are several ways that can help you do this. There are also several tips that can help you manage your time blocks going forward. And in addition, we do have a time blocking workshop coming up in December, which will be held on Monday, the 5th of December at 12 p.m. And this is going to be for 90 minutes. And this workshop is really going to help you learn time blocking and implement the steps that you need. From what I've heard from people downloading my resource, is that they love the resource, they love the idea of time blocking, but they haven't managed to actually implement the steps and make the change. Because again, it's time. People don't have time to sit and, you know, spend the time that they need in their business, because they might be a business startup, or they might have been running their business for a few years and they're developing and they're doing this and doing that for growth. So there's lots of different reasons why people haven't implemented the steps yet. And sometimes actually it might just be accountability and someone kind of holding your hand and saying, right, well, you've got the steps, you've got the process, you've got your tasks all grouped. Why haven't you done it? And sometimes it's just a simple case of, right, I'm going to sit with my calendar and implement these steps. So I really invite you to have a look at your calendar today, if you can. If you've listened to this episode, then I'm hoping that I've motivated you a little bit. So look at your calendar, add in that 1 hour where you're going to allow yourself to look at time blocking. Just look at it. You don't have to do anything. Look at it and see what it can do for you in your life, in your business. Download the free resource if you think it's useful for you. And there is also a link in the show notes where you can sign up to register for the workshop that is coming up. At the moment, I'm creating all of the details for people to sign up and book their place on this workshop. But for now, there's just a wait list, so you can go and register. Trust me, time blocking really saved me, because I spent so many hours working, starting up my business and thinking I needed to do this, do that, work every single hour to get things rolling, etc. And yes, of course, you do need to learn so much when running a business, and you do need to be everywhere and do this and do that, but not to the extent where it's burning you out and making you poorly. And I am one of those people where I get to that stage, and I still do now, not so much as I used to, but I do get to that stage now where I do get poorly and I do burn myself out, because although I want growth in my business, I'm passionate about supporting women, and I always think, no, it's fine, I'll be fine, I can carry on and I can do this. So I also know that I still need to continue with my time blocking journey. Although I do it and I'm pretty good at it now, when it comes to the evening that isn't time blocked, because I don't allow myself to work in the evenings, I do find myself still working. I pick up my phone or sometimes my iPad, because for some reason they're different to picking up my laptop or sitting at my desk at the desktop. So yes, I know that I still need to work on certain areas when it comes to work and time blocking my calendar. But honestly, I've come a long way since I started time blocking, and it really is a lifesaver. You know, we don't need to work all the hours. Our time is precious, and there's so many other things that we can be doing with our lives. You know, if we've got a family, I'm sure a lot of us have a family, a beautiful family. So we need to prioritize where we can. So I hope today's episode has been a little bit helpful for you, and you can see that we are all human. We all need, you know, tips and tricks and things to help keep us steady, give us balance, and working smarter and not harder. Okay, I shall speak to you soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Courageous Goals podcast. I really hope you've enjoyed today's episode and taken something of value for you. If you'd love more advice, coaching, inspiration and support, head on over to join many other courageous women in business in our free community group over on Facebook. We'd love to welcome you. You can also find free useful resources over on the website at leannebrown.com/resources. Right, that's all for this week. I look forward to sharing another episode with you next week.